Scary mysteries, twisted news. Father and son arrested for Kristen Smart, and TikTok user saves teen. Terrifying cases of true crime and strange events. Every week, Twisted News dives into two mysterious and scary cases currently happening in our world. This week, we'll tackle the shocking development on the Kristen Smart case and the surprising rescue story of a boy who saved another teen via TikTok. Get ready for Scary Mysteries, Twisted News. Number 1. Father and son arrested for Kristen Smart. In 1996, Kristen Smart enrolled at Cal Poly State University in San Luis Obispo, California. On May 25th of that year, she attended a birthday party at a fraternity house. She was dropped off by her friends who themselves had other plans on Memorial Day. Around midnight, she was found passed out on a lawn by Cheryl Anderson and Tim Davis, two fellow university students who had just left the party. They stopped to help the blonde girl get back on her feet, and they went on to accompany her back to her dorm nearby. On their way there, the trio were met by Paul Flores, yet another partygoer. He offered to help Anderson and Davis in returning the girl to her place. Davis was the first to depart from the group since he lived outside of campus. Anderson then left next, as his dorm was a little ways away. Flores assured the two men that he'd bring Smart back to her dorm since he lived closer to her. Unknowingly, this would be the last time that the college student was ever seen alive. It took some time before the university police department took notice of her prolonged absence. They originally suspected that she had gone on an unannounced vacation. It was already too late when they filed a missing persons report to the local law enforcement. Authorities immediately gathered a task force, which was also comprised of university volunteers, to search for the missing 19-year-old. It so happened that there was an ongoing investigation of the Lacey Peterson murder case. Apparently, the victim's husband, Scott Peterson, had attended Cal Poly around the same time when Smart disappeared. However, the police couldn't establish his connection with the missing woman, and so he was ruled out as a suspect. The attention later began to hone in more on Flores. Although her remains were never found, investigators discovered what was believed to be the student's earring at the former residence of the suspect's mother. The piece of jewelry somehow got lost by the police. Despite these hiccups, investigators continued to conduct various searches between the years 1996 and 2007. They included using cadaver dogs in their operations. Much of their focus was on the properties owned by the Flores family. However, no useful leads have been found for nearly 2 decades. Meanwhile, Smart was ultimately declared legally dead on May 25, 2002, which fell on the 6th anniversary of her disappearance. The San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office opted for the case to remain open, and then came one of the biggest developments to ever happen in the Kristen Smart homicide case. September 6, 2016, the Sheriff's Office announced that they were investigating a new lead. In the following days, 3 dig sites were made in the area near Smart's dormitory. They recovered a handful of items which they then forwarded to be analyzed. Investigators had also simultaneously been rummaging through the properties of the Floreses with the hope of finding evidence that could officially tie them to the case. On April 20th, 2021, roughly 5 years since that big break, prosecutors announced their findings. They now have reasons to believe that the missing girl's body had, at one time, been buried at Ruben Flores' property in Arroyo Grande, and Ruben was the father of Paul. There was some biological evidence that the remains had been recently moved to another location. In that same month, Paul Flores and his father were taken into custody by the county sheriff's department. The son, who is now 44 years old, was apprehended in San Pedro in Los Angeles County and was transported back to San Luis Obispo County. He was charged with murder and is now held without bail. His 80-year-old father, meanwhile, was arrested in suspicion of being an accessory in the crime. He recently got out on a $50,000 bail. As to what exactly will happen to the father-son duo, only time will tell. Number 2. Teen saved via TikTok. Amidst all the hate it is getting, the social media app TikTok surely has done some wonders in our world. Endless entertainment, of course, meaningful learning experiences, meeting people, but saving lives? This could be the last thing one can think of when we're talking about this platform, and yet, here we are, about to be proven wrong. Caden Cotnor was a TikTok user who lives in Gilmanton, New Hampshire. The 13-year-old was watching another app user named Trent Jarrett broadcasting live, himself riding a quad bike in West Virginia. Suddenly, Jarrett's live feed went black. All that Cotnor could see was a little bulb of light. He wasn't exactly sure what he was looking at, but then he began to notice that someone was yelling for help. Listening intently to the sound, he gradually realized that the other person online was calling out some numbers. The viewer immediately dialed the numbers that were yelled out, and much to his surprise, he was connected to Jarrett's family. He told them what had happened, and the adults were quick to jump to action. It took less than 30 minutes before the youngster was rescued from the upturned four-wheeler. Fortunately, he only suffered some minor cuts and bruises. Although insignificant for some, Cotnor's initiative and kindness was duly praised, especially by his pal's parents, who credited him with saving his life. In later interviews with the press, the live streamer revealed that he was actually yelling out his grandparents' house phone number, as it was the only emergency number he could easily remember. The rescue boy said, "I'd just like to thank him for everything that he's done." His stepfather, a local police chief, hailed the other youngster's deed as an Easter miracle, as the incident took place on Sunday, April 4th, 2021. The two teens spoke to each other via Zoom the following week. Jarrett thanked his fellow TikToker for being there to save him, even though they were 800 miles apart. Both boys were connected in the app because the two of them shared the same interests in a variety of outdoor activities like hunting, fishing, and off-road riding. There are other instances like this that have happened recently. In January of 2020, there came a report about a social media influencer named Alex Griswold, whose life was saved by his fans. The 24-year-old said that he had posted a video of himself on TikTok the month before when something caught the eyes of his viewers. They pointed out the mole on his back, and the public went on to urge him to have it checked by a doctor, as the mole looked cancerous. A week later, he posted yet another video updating his followers about what his dermatologist said. Indeed, the irregular growth of the mole indicated something serious and of great concern. He was advised to remove it, and so he did. TikTok saved my life, Griswold went on to say in his later videos. So there were two of the most mysterious and coincidental stories around. The world can be a crazy place, and Twisted News is sure to show you why. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, then please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. We have new videos coming out every single week for you guys to check out. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.